The lock clicked with a finality that made my blood freeze. I stood in my parents' basement, wedding dress half-zipped, staring at the door my mother had just secured from the outside. The bare bulb overhead flickered, casting shadows across the concrete walls I'd played beside as a child. Now, 30 minutes before I was supposed to walk down the aisle, those same walls had become my prison. "Mom!" I called out, my voice cracking. "This isn't funny. Open the door." Her heels clicked on the stairs as she descended. Through the small window near the ceiling, I could see her legs stop at eye level. She crouched down, and I saw her face, not apologetic, not conflicted. Satisfied. "Your sister looks better in white," she said simply, as if explaining why she'd chosen one apple over another at the grocery store. The dress was made for someone like her. My hands shook as I pressed them against the cold door. "That's my wedding dress. Marcus is waiting for me. 200 people are." "Your father's handling it," she interrupted. "Elena's already getting ready upstairs. Just this once, sweetheart, let her shine." Elena, my younger sister who had spent the last 6 months telling everyone how basic my wedding plans were, how she would do everything differently, how Marcus was cute for a teacher, but she preferred lawyers or doctors. Elena, who had shown up to my dress fitting uninvited and spent the entire time trying on tiaras while I was being measured. "She's not even engaged." I screamed, pounding on the door. The sound echoed off the concrete, making my ears ring. Dad's voice drifted down, calm and measured like he was discussing the weather. "She's been having a hard time since Trevor left. You have Marcus. You have everything. What's one day?" One day. My wedding day. The day I'd saved for since I was 22, working double shifts at the hospital while finishing my nursing degree. The dress alone had cost 3 months of overtime pay, hand-beaded, vintage-inspired, the only extravagant thing I'd allowed myself. I heard rustling upstairs, drawers opening, voices murmuring. Then Elena's laugh, bright and cruel. "Oh my God, it fits perfectly. Like it was made for me. You look stunning, sweetheart," Mom cooed. "Like a real bride. A real bride." As if I, the woman who had actually found love, actually gotten engaged, actually planned a wedding, was the fake one. I slammed my fist against the door again. "This is insane. Let me out. Marcus will come looking." "We told him you got cold feet," Dad said. I could hear the shrug in his voice. "That you needed some time to think. He's waiting at the church." Very understanding young man. My knees buckled. I slid down the door, the concrete floor cold through the thin fabric of my slip. They'd thought of everything. Of course they had. This wasn't spontaneous cruelty. This was planned. "Please," I whispered, hating how small my voice sounded. "Please don't do this." Mom's heels clicked again. Moving away. "It's just a few hours, Vanessa. Elena's always dreamed of being a bride. You'll have other chances." Other chances. As if weddings were like carnival rides. Miss one turn, catch the next. As if Marcus would wait around after being told I'd run away from our wedding. As if the 200 guests, his family, our friends, my co-workers, would ever look at me the same way again. I heard a car horn outside. The limo. My limo, paid for with the bonus I'd gotten for working through the pandemic, never taking a day off while Elena had quit 3 jobs for being too stressful. "Time to go," Elena sang out. "How do I look, Daddy?" "Like the daughter I always dreamed of," he replied. The words cut deeper than any slap. I'd graduated summa cum laude. I'd never asked them for money after 18. I'd been there when Dad had his heart attack, sleeping in the hospital chair for a week. But Elena who dropped out of college twice, who crashed 2 cars they'd bought her, who had been fired from her last job for stealing, she was the dream. The front door slammed. Car doors opened and closed. The limo pulled away with my sister wearing my dress to my wedding to meet my fiancé at my altar. I sat in the darkness, processing the betrayal. Then I remembered something, my phone. I pulled it out, hands trembling. 17 missed calls from Marcus. Texts asking where I was, if I was okay, saying he'd wait forever if he had to. But I didn't call him back. Not yet. Instead, I scrolled through my contacts to a different number. Sarah, my best friend and maid of honor. She answered on the first ring. "Where are you? Your mom said you're having second thoughts? That doesn't sound like." "Sarah, listen carefully," I said, my voice steady now. "I need you to do exactly what I say." 20 minutes later, I heard the back door open. Sarah's voice called out. "Hello? Mrs. Patterson asked me to grab the something borrowed from Vanessa's room." No response. They were all gone. Sarah found the basement door, gasping when she saw me. "What the?" Just get me out, I said. I'll explain on the way. She grabbed a screwdriver from my dad's workshop and popped the lock, an old house trick I'd taught her in high school. I ran upstairs, past the kitchen where Mom had left Elena's coffee cup, lipstick stains on the rim. Past the living room where family photos sat, Elena prominent in every one while I hovered in corners or edges, easily cropped out. In my old room, I found what I was looking for, my laptop, my emergency credit card hidden in an old jewelry box, and most importantly, the folder I'd prepared months ago. Insurance documents, bank statements, the email threads where I'd explicitly paid for every aspect of this wedding myself, where the dress shop confirmed my custom order, where the venue had my signature alone on the contract. Vanessa, what are you doing? Sarah asked as I threw everything into a bag. Getting evidence, I said, screenshotting the security footage from our doorbell camera on my phone. Clear video of them locking me in the basement, of Elena leaving in my dress. And then I'm going to my wedding. But Elena is about to learn what happens when you steal from the wrong sister. The church was only 15 minutes away. Sarah drove while I made calls. First to my cousin James, who worked security at the venue. Then to Father Miguel, who'd known our family for 20 years. Finally, to the photographer, making sure he was capturing every moment of this disaster. We pulled up just as the processional music began. Through the glass doors, I could see the church packed with guests, all turned toward the back where Elena would enter. Where I should have been standing. Are you sure about this? Sarah asked. I looked down at my slip, my bare feet, my smeared makeup. Then I thought about every Christmas where Elena's presents took up 3/4 of the tree. Every birthday where her parties were events while mine were family dinners. Every achievement of mine that was met with, "That's nice," while Elena's participation trophies got framed. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. I walked through those doors just as Elena appeared at the back of the church, my dress flowing around her like she was born to wear it. The photographer's camera clicked rapidly. Good. Document everything. Heads turned as I strode down the side aisle, barefoot and half-dressed. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Marcus's eyes went wide at the altar, confusion and relief warring on his face. What is the meaning of this? Father Miguel asked. I reached the front just as Elena did, her face cycling through shock, rage, and then that practiced innocent look she'd perfected over 26 years. Nessa, she said sweetly. I thought you weren't feeling well? I wasn't, I said, projecting my voice so everyone could hear. It's hard to feel well when you're locked in a basement while your sister steals your wedding dress. The church erupted. Guests murmured, phones came out, and Marcus stepped forward, reaching for me. But I held up a hand. Not yet. This needed to happen first. That's ridiculous. Mom's voice rang out from the front pew. Vanessa, stop making a scene. A scene? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. You locked me in the basement. On my wedding day. So Elena could play dress up in the gown I paid for. You're confused, Dad said, standing. Obviously emotional. I have the security footage, I announced, holding up my phone. Timestamp video of you locking me in the basement at 2:47 p.m. Elena leaving in my dress at 3:15. Should I stream it to the projector, or would you prefer I just send it directly to the police? Silence fell like a hammer. Elena's mask finally slipped. You always have to ruin everything. One day, Vanessa. I asked for one day. You didn't ask, I said quietly. You took. Just like you've taken everything else. My birthday money when we were kids. My prom date. My college acceptance letter that mysteriously went missing until after the enrollment deadline passed. And now my wedding. That's enough, Mom hissed, but I saw fear in her eyes now. The fear of exposure. Of the family image cracking in front of everyone who mattered in their social circle. No, I said. It's not enough. It's never been enough. 28 years of being told to be quiet, be smaller, let Elena shine. 28 years of being the responsible one, while she got to be the special one. Well, congratulations. She's so special she commits identity theft in front of 200 witnesses. I turned to Father Miguel. I believe impersonation with intent to defraud is still a crime, Father. Especially when documented. Elena's face had gone white under the makeup. My makeup, I realized, recognizing the lipstick shade I'd chosen specifically to match my bouquet. Nessa, please, she whispered. My name, I said clearly, is Vanessa. And that's my dress. My wedding. My life. Take it off. What? Take. Off. My. Dress. I'm not stripping in church, she shrieked. Then return to the dressing room and remove it. Sarah will go with you to make sure you don't damage it. Or I call the police now, and you can explain to them why you're wearing stolen property worth $8,000. The number made several guests gasp. Elena's eyes filled with tears, real ones this time. She looked to our parents, but they were frozen, calculating whether to double down or retreat. Fine, she spat, gathering the skirts, my skirts, and storming toward the side room. I turned to the congregation, to Marcus's family who'd flown in from Oregon, to my colleagues who'd covered my shifts so I could have this day, to the friends who'd celebrated every step of this journey with me. I apologize for the delay, I said. The wedding will resume in 15 minutes. If anyone would prefer to leave, I understand completely. No one moved. Marcus finally reached me, pulling me into his arms. Are you okay? He whispered into my hair. I am now, I said. And meant it, because as I stood there in my slip, barefoot on the altar where I'd dreamed of being married, I realized something. They'd given me a gift. Not the one they'd intended, but a gift nonetheless. They'd shown everyone exactly who they were. And exactly who I wasn't. I wasn't their doormat anymore. I wasn't the invisible daughter, the responsible one who never made waves. I was Vanessa Morrison, soon to be Vanessa Chun, and I was done shrinking to make room for Elena's spotlight. Sarah returned with my dress, helping me into it right there at the altar. It fit exactly as it should, because it was made for me. Chosen by me. Paid for by me. Mine. As I stood there, Marcus's hand in mine, I looked out at the front pew. My parents sat rigid, humiliated. Elena was nowhere to be seen, probably crying in the bathroom or already plotting how to make herself the victim. Dearly beloved, Father Miguel began, and I smiled. They thought they could lock me away, steal my day, erase me from my own story. They had no idea that I'd been keeping records, saving evidence, watching their patterns for years. They had no idea that this wedding was just the beginning. Because after the honeymoon, the real consequences would begin. The family group chat that would mysteriously receive the security footage. The social media posts from guests that would go viral. The legal consultation I'd already scheduled about Elena's history of identity theft. But that was for later. Right now, I was getting married to the man I loved, in the dress I'd chosen, surrounded by people who actually cared about me. And when Father Miguel asked if anyone objected, the silence from the front pew was the sweetest sound I'd ever heard. Then by the power vested in me, he continued, his voice warm with approval, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Marcus kissed me as the church erupted in applause. And just before we turned to walk back down the aisle as newlyweds, I caught my mother's eye. Thank you, I mouthed silently, her brow furrowed in confusion. But I meant it. Thank you for showing me who you really are. Thank you for pushing me so far I finally pushed back. Thank you for the best wedding gift you could have given me. My freedom. As we walked down the aisle, rice falling around us like snow, I heard my phone buzz with a text. I glanced at it quickly. Elena, this isn't over. I smiled, typing back one-handed. You're right. It's just beginning. Then I deleted her number, took my husband's hand, and walked into the sunshine toward the limo. My limo, taking me to my reception, to celebrate my marriage. Behind us, the church doors closed on the past. And for the first time in 28 years, I didn't look back.